You are looking at a collection of serious safety incidents, lawsuits, and legal settlements related to the Amherst School Board's chosen contractor for the Wilkins school site demolition and reconstruction project. These incidents include a death at a construction site, numerous OSHA safety violations, and multiple lawsuits, including one related to a new construction that was plagued with leaking roofs and faulty boilers. Two issues that our board proposes to fix with a demo and rebuild. I discovered these incidents after realizing that the board intends to turn the Wilkins Elementary School into a construction site for at least 2 years, while children, teachers, and staff are shifted and bounced around between a combination of old building spaces, to portables, to section of a new building, and so on. You are now looking at clear-cut, black and white proof that the Amherst School Board has misinformed the citizens of Amherst with their repeated claims that the Sauhegan School Board refuses to even discuss alternative solutions, in particular, the Sauhegan Annex that contains millions of dollars of underutilized educational space. I raised the following two questions at the Amherst School Board's deliberative session. 1. Why have they repeatedly blamed the Sauhegan School Board for the lack of fully considering all underutilized space in our district? And 2. Which of the lawsuits and safety incidents are board members aware of, and what assurances does the community have that these do not occur here at our elementary school? Their answers were shocking. I will start with the construction safety issues as they pertain directly to the health, safety, and well-being of elementary-age students and the staff entrusted with their care. The worst that can happen at any construction site is an incident leading to death, which occurred at a hospital under construction by DEW Construction, or Do Construction, Amherst School Board's chosen contractor. A worker was tragically killed in close proximity to the hospital's ER. This incident highlights how dangerous construction sites are. The lawsuit between insurance companies that followed demonstrates how complicated and messy construction-related legal battles can be, often revolving around technicalities and legal doctrines rather than simply making an injured party whole. For example, this lawsuit between a condo association and Do Construction demonstrates that even with new construction, things can go wrong, very wrong. The plaintiff alleged that Do Construction was guilty of negligence, raising issues including improperly constructed roads, and the Wilkins project includes a road, faulty drainage, permit violations, and chronic roof leaks and faulty boilers, two major issues our school board intends to fix with this project. Years of litigation resulted in a $3 million settlement paid to the condo association. Legal fees were costly. Another lawsuit between Do and Vermont OSHA arose out of alleged safety violations. This lawsuit was apparently dismissed on a technicality due to OSHA's untimely notification to Do of the violations. Regardless, our school board should be very interested in discovering the nature of those violations. A more recent 2022 OSHA violation alleged several serious violations, including not adhering to fall protection standards and improper operation of equipment. Do Construction attempts to shift blame to subcontractors on site rather than Do employees, but the citation claims Do's superintendent allowed a violation to occur. As far as I can tell, this legal battle is still playing out in the courts. A local Vermont-based blog alleged that Do Construction hired subcontractors with a history of using illegal migrants as labor. This raises safety concerns. Since ASB has chosen to turn Wilkins into a construction site, children, teachers, and staff will be in close proximity to contractors and subcontractors. I informed the Amherst School Board of these eyebrow-raising incidents, hoping that this wasn't the first they were hearing of them, and assuming they would take the matter seriously and share my concerns, as I am sure you, the listener, are concerned. ASB's response was stunning.
Oh, question 2. I don't have any information on that. I don't feel that I'm in the proper position to speak on any suits that they had. So I think that you can refer that to DEW if you have questions on that, but I am not comfortable speaking on anything that I was not involved in of such a nature. But I believe that we did vet companies and we did do RFPs, and this was the company that we chose to go forward with.
This answer floored me. Not only did the board not know anything about what you just saw on your screen, but they asked me to do their job for them and reach out to their chosen contractors myself. This should concern every resident of this town that the Amherst board proposes a high-risk construction project while foregoing basic due diligence as put on display here. This board has refused to consider and weigh all available options. For years, citizens, past school board members, and even current Sauhegan school board members have approached the Amherst School Board to consider use of the millions of dollars of pre-existing and underutilized educational space at the Sauhegan Annex. Just in March of 2023,
the fact that the Sauhegan study shows that this is feasible enough, and that there's a compelling reason to help the students for the transition to high school. For me, is I'm imploring you to please come and knock on the Sauhegan School Board's door and say, yes, we're ready to have the conversation together and see what solutions we can come up, as opposed to excuses for avoiding it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. John Glover of the Sauhegan Board approaches the Amherst Board and implores them to come talk to them about the annex. He takes the time to extend invitation to ASB to do right by the community and explore all options. Rather than immediately accepting this invitation and approaching the Sauhegan Board, ASB instead approaches the selectmen and asks for access to $135,000 in impact fees to fund redesigning yet another new elementary build. This just a short time after being rejected by the voters a second time on similar proposals. It wasn't until September, months later, that the Amherst Board proposes to use the annex not for 7th and 8th grades, but for a preschool. Page 1 of Sauhegan's minutes from September 11, 2023 clearly state that moving 7th and 8th into the annex will not be pursued until approached by another board, which includes the Amherst Board. It is revealed further down in these minutes that the rationale behind this is that the Amherst Board has expressed that they do not want to move 7th and 8th. The Amherst Board then sends a direct communication out to the people of Amherst stating the falsehood that the Sauhegan Board has ruled out further inquiry into moving 7th and 8th into the annex. Comparing these side by side, you can see the massive discrepancy between ASB's statement and the Sauhegan Board's true position. When I questioned the Amherst Board at deliberative on their misinformation, their answer was as follows.
Our thought was that we don't want to put 7th and 8th grade in that building. It's not developmentally appropriate. And then we also wanted to use preschool as a potential secondary education learning atmosphere opportunity for Sauhegan students. They said that they really didn't want to do that either. So this has been two groups that really don't want to work together on this project because we want to use those facilities and those spaces for their own needs. And we don't want to put 7th and 8th graders in there.
You heard that right. The annex is developmentally inappropriate for 7th and 8th graders, but a pre-K preschool is appropriate, all in the same sentence. This is the thought process of the Amherst School Board. In addition, the Amherst Board admits for the first time that I've seen publicly that it is they who do not want to put 7th and 8th into the annex. Why did they foster mistrust and division in our community with their previous misinformation sent directly to parents? The Sauhegan Board extends open invitation to discuss the subject, yet a good number of people in our community believe that they closed the door. Compounding the issue are statements like this made after deliberative from a sitting Amherst School Board member, Tim Taberge. I leave it to the viewer to determine the accuracy and honesty of these statements. I find the Amherst Board's claims that this is a modest school expansion dubious when the current square footage sits at just under 50,000 square feet, including portables, when the new building will be over double that at 120,000 square feet. Their own architect lists the long walk from one end of the building to the other as a con. This despite our district having hundreds of students less district-wide than past years. I find the Amherst Board's insistence to push forward this project despite the Mount Vernon Board currently considering removing all their students from the middle school, further reducing student population. I find the $33 million repair-only figures to be suspect at best, especially in light of the fact that the insured building replacement value of Wilkins is $8.8 million, or $10.1 million if you include the building's contents. I find the stripping away of no less than 5 sports from 5th grade to be concerning if they are moved to Wilkins. Ask the student athletes if they will give up any of the lifelong memories, lessons, and friends they made through these programs. Ask the parents if they give up an entire year seeing the children on the cross-country course, or cheer squad, or wrestling mat, or track for the first time. What I see here is at least 2 years of disrupted learning in a high-risk, complicated construction project.
And then once the rear addition is built and the modulars are in place, we demolish sort of the center part of the school and construct that from August 26th to August 27th. So there's only modulars being utilized for approximately 12 months or so.
To the teachers and parents attending or soon will be attending Wilkins, please make a fully informed decision when voting on this warrant article. I have just provided transparency that was woefully lacking. To the teachers specifically, please carefully consider what you have just watched and just exactly what a construction project like this means for you and your students, the disruption to learning, the potentially unnecessary risks. Those of you who know me know that I care deeply for this school system and just how much I support you. Please understand that there are other feasible and potentially much less costly solutions to space issues at Wilkins through reconfiguration of the district. Cost-effective solutions will help to not jeopardize future budgets and teacher contracts if the taxpayers are stretched to their limits. To anyone that is surprised by what you have just watched, I leave you now with some words from the Amherst School District moderator.
And you know, I myself, other people in this community will rally around this. We've exhausted the conversation. I don't even think you need to have any more meetings. If everybody's surprised by this in March, shame on them.